Today we are prepping the fuel system for long-term storage. So I got approximately, I would say, probably about 2, maybe 3 gallons of E85 left in the tank. And I'm just going to drain it. And then I'm going to run a gallon of this 110 octane through the system to make sure that we don't have any we don't get any corrosion or fuel gelling up any of the lines, the filters, the regulator, or the carburetor. So let's get to it. All right. Just bringing you guys along. Now, when I run the race gas, I'm going to have to start it, and I'm going to let it idle for, I don't know, probably about 5 or 10 minutes. Technically, last time I did this, it died before it died before it used all that, and then I had to drain that too. So this stuff is purple. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but I know it's 110 octane. But here we are under here. Looks like we got a dash. It's a dash 8. No, it's a dash 10. Which is this adjustable is not going to work. Let's get the right tool. This is probably the worst part about this is having to store the car, prep the fuel system for long-term storage. It's not something I enjoy doing, but it's a necessity. And if you want to destroy a carburetor, go ahead and let it sit in there for, I don't know, 6 or 7 months and watch what happens to your carburetor. It's not going to be good. Wrong tool again. Wow, just stepping all over everything. So it is a dash 10, which normally checks out about, if I'm doing my math right, I forget where a dash 10 falls, but it's not the largest tool. I need to order a set of AN wrenches and stop playing around. That's what I need to do. Be done with it. But I normally can get by with it because, I mean, a wrench like that's only, you can normally run like a 7/8 or a, what is it, 3/4 or 7/8. I think 3/4 will slip around a dash 8, but I think a 7/8 or a 13/16 is required when you're trying to get around a dash 10 or above. It's a little bit of a different story. This should be overkill, but I think this will do it. And this stuff's not super cranked on there, so should be able to get away with it. It's just snug. It's an AN fitting. So it's just a cap. All right, there we go. All right, she's loose. So again, guys, I'm just draining the E85, prepping this thing for storage. I'm going to run for those of you just joining, I'm going to run a gallon of that 110 octane through it, and all it's doing is just flushing the system. A decent amount of E in here. It's pouring harder than it did last time. Who knows how much is in there. I hate doing this, but I got to do it. Nothing like the fresh. Oh man, it smells like vodka. I'm not gonna lie, it smells straight up like vodka. Here's the Weldon 250 pump. It's a deadhead return, and then there's an Innovators West flex fuel sensor. So we ran the sensor right back here, and it just worked out that way. RCI 20-gallon fuel cell, a dash 10 to a pre-pump filter, Weldon 250. Then from the pump, we ran a return to the tank, and then we're running a dash 8 on up the line through a post filter regulator to the regulator, and then after the regulator it's 2-6s to the Holley XP950. So while this is draining, actually I'll pop the hood because I got to pull the air filter off and then get to the carb. And I will be breaking loose the 2 lines that run to the carburetor. And yeah, see if I can do this with one hand. Big old fat CSM 430 Windsor small block Ford. All of that nastiness. So I will, let's see if I can get you guys a light. C5R over there, just chilling. That will be sitting on a tender for the next umpteenth years. So basically I'll just break loose the 2-6s and just plug those, and then I'll pull the carburetor off and seal that up. I better wash this E85 off my hands because I don't think that's something I want to just let dry and chill in my skin. Man, that thing's still pouring. Maybe I didn't rip hard enough last night. I thought I had enough to get by, or I thought I had burned enough to where, okay, now we're finishing up. That's probably about solid 3 gallons of E85. But anyways, last night I took this thing out, drove it around a little bit, did a somewhat of a pull on the freeway, probably about 6,000 RPM at probably, I would say, 25% throttle. I have not ripped into this thing all the way, guys. I'm really kind of taking my time and pussyfooting around. I mean, this motor, you know, it made what, 600 pounds of torque at about 5,200 RPM, and over 700 horsepower from 7,000 RPM, and we stopped the dyno at 7,500, but it was still making over 700. But I wasn't trying to take the risk as far as, you know, just having this thing break loose, because I think it will snap the tires loose at any, you know, first, second, or third. Doesn't matter the speed, it's gonna snap it loose. I think it'll go straight, but I'm still just not trying to take the risk of you know, basically destroying this thing. There's no traction control on this. Your traction control is your basically your right foot. 11 mil. Yeah, traction control is your right foot. That's pretty much it. So I'm not playing around with it. So anyways, let's get this thing off. Holley, or no, this is a K&N. I think it's a 14-inch. It's a tall filter. I could have ran the skinny filter, but it kind of takes away from plenum volume, or some volume or column of air. So I didn't want to do that either. So we ran this, and then we just cut this stud, and you can see it barely fit. It actually left a witness mark on the. Let's see if I can get some light under here. It left a witness mark. Long story short, here, there's a witness mark on the carbon fiber. What is this thing? The Ring Brothers Universal carbon fiber hood scoop. That was a witness mark. So anyways, we got this filter off. Let's do this. That's there. Pull this guy straight up. Move him out the way. That's the Holley XP950. That was gone through by Kevin at CSU. When we first put that thing on the dyno, it was not ready. It was not ready for the 430 Windsor. The 430 Windsor had more than it could handle, and so we ended up dynoing it on race gas. Get all this fuel out. We ended up dynoing it on race gas with a Holley 830 double pumper. You know, it still fared out pretty good, but it's definitely. Tell me I just stepped on that cap and it went. Oh, got lucky. All right, so we got all the E out, or most of the E out. Now, mind you, when this thing runs, because the flex fuel sensor is right there, the Innovators West is it Innovators West? Whoever, Innovate West. Or no, Innovate Motorsports is who it is. It's basically a GM Continental sensor, just like I think 90% of the flex fuel sensors out there. And so we just ran that. And basically what I'm getting at is 90% of the time I'm seeing 79, 80% of ethanol. So now that I drain that, let's get this race gas in here. And some interesting stuff. I don't know if you guys can see the color, but it's purple. Lack of a better term, stuff's purple. 110 octane, and should do the job. So let's go. Anyways, what's interesting is the Innovate, what is it? Innovate Motorsports flex fuel sensor. When you run it, like I said, most of the pump E85 is around 79, 80%. When I run this race gas through it, as it runs through the system, you'll see it drop down to about, or last time it dropped down to about 6%, somewhere in there. So I think it's going to be the same. Yep, thanks guys for sticking with me. I don't know, can anyone hear me? If so, drop a comment. How's audio? How's all that stuff? Can you guys, if you guys can hear me all clear, leave a thumbs up or comment or something. Just let me know if I'm, let me turn it around, get it off my face. But if you guys can hear me loud and clear, just say, yay, we got you. And that's good enough. But we got 61 people here on the live, you know, and again, you know, this is an alternative. Either, you know, if you have high compression, you either got to run race gas, methanol, or E85. And so for me, it was ethanol, corn, ethanol as in E, not M as in Mike, not methanol, but ethanol. And pretty straightforward because again, this 1 gallon cost me $15. A gallon of that stuff, E, is, what is it, $2.50, and that's out here in California where everything is super high. So all right, let's cap that off. All right, let's put this stuff in here. And once we get it in here, we'll go ahead and do a quick start. I know you guys are patiently waiting, and I respect you guys' time. So let's go ahead and fill this bad boy up with some 110 octane. There she goes, the purple stuff. Now this thing's gonna die well before a gallon. And so I'll just end up draining this gallon too. So this is just to flush the E out of the system. I don't want any ethanol in the carburetor, in the fuel lines, nothing. So what I'll do is after it dies, I'll go ahead and pull the carburetor and drain the bowls, and then put the bowls back in, the bleeders back, plug them back. And then we're all good. So, all right, here we go, guys. Here's the moment of truth. I hate these threads on this thing. It feels like you're always cross-threading it. You would think that they'd make it out of something different, you know, like this right here is like, well, can't that start a spark just from all that? You would think. So, hey guys, I'm prepping the 430 Windsor for long-term storage. Drain the E85 out. We will be running, drain the E85 out. We're going to be running 110 octane for those of you just joining. 110 octane until it dies. I'll pull the carburetor, drain these bowls, call it a day. I think it's either here, I forget. I think it's the flathead. I forget where it is. Oh, right here. We'll drain this afterwards. That's where you drain the bowls. Carburetor will be completely dry. There should be no ethanol in it, and we should be good until next year, hopefully. So anyways, let's see if we can start this bad boy up. 430 inches of fury. 13-1. It's gonna smoke out the house. That's okay. I had more E in the tank than I thought. Apparently I didn't send it hard enough last night. So, okay. All right, let's move to, make sure we're all good. Okay, let's move to the ignition. I don't know if you guys can see. The car is all blacked out, black interior, all that jazz. So you know how that is. All right. We are getting ready to light this thing off. Thanks for those of you guys who are just joining. Thanks for watching. Thing's got a cage in it. All right, so here we are. Simple enough. There's a 68 Falcon. It's got, let me see if I can shrink that down. 68 Falcon. It's 430-inch Windsor. We updated it to a cage, an 850 cage. So now we have an A-pillar bar going down, and we think that's safer. Cool. There it is. So here's the flex fuel gauge right there, and that'll tell me the E content. Now that we're on race gas, it should dip down to single digits. I think everything, I'll turn the key on. There's key on. Let's see if, I don't know if that's better. So there's key on. You can see from left to right, there's fuel level, water temp, fuel pressure, nitrous bottle pressure, which we will be installing eventually, tach and odometer, or no, speedo and odometer, tach, oil pressure, voltage, oil temp, and ethanol content. So let's get this fuel pump going so we can pump some of that stuff up here. All right, so now you see it go all the way down to 4 or 5%, 3%. That's what it's reading live real time. So there's hardly any. That's the E content. So, all right, let's light this bad boy off. Now it's just going to run till it dies. It's going to run a little rich. That's ready, guys. That shit burnt. That stuff burns the eyes. This kind of fuel is, yeah, it burns the eyes. But anyways, that's all I'm doing, guys. This shit burns your eyes. Burns your eyes. Ooh. All right, that should be good. All right, guys, that should be enough. This shit burns the eyes. Yeah, I think that's enough as far as basically flushing the system, getting that ethanol out of there. It idled for probably, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. And that was all I could take. I think the big thing now is pulling the carburetor, draining the bowls, letting it just go dry. And that's really it. So I'll go ahead and pull the carburetor, put it in a bag and store it. And then as far as the manifold, I'll put a cover over it so we don't get any kind of critters or anything that want to live in there. So I think that's it. Let me drain the rest of this. This is the one. Here, turn this around. This is 110. Pull the dash. It's pretty loose. Loosen that guy up. Hold on. Can you guys see that? All right, so loosen that guy up. I'll just drain the rest of the gas. I think this fuel has lead in it. It's not healthy, I'll tell you that much. So there it is. It's purple. I don't think you guys can see the actual color, but whatevs. Getting this shit drained, bone dry. I'm gonna have to dump this fuel. Well, we got 67 people watching. Can we get a shout out or can we get a roll call of who we are, where we're from, any of that business going on? Anybody? Where are we watching from? What part of the world are we watching from? Are we in I don't know, West Coast? Are we overseas? Are we back east, down south? in the Midwest, up north, Alaska. Where are we from? Where are we from out here, guys? Anyone? And is the comments on? Because, you know, one of the things I wasn't sure if the comments were on, and I didn't want to, I could start a poll. I ain't trying to do all that. I'm trying to see if the highlight or whatever they can do so, but no stress. We have now officially drained the Falcon of, you know, flushed the Falcon's fuel system, and I think I'll be signing off. But I just wanted to give you guys a shout out to everyone who watches and the subscribers and just viewers in general. Just to say hey. How would I fix that? Just to say hey, you know. Appreciate you guys for, let me turn that around, that's stupid. Appreciate you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you haven't already, make sure you hit, give a subscribe, like, share, comment, all that stuff. We'll have more badass content coming. For those of you who, you know, you watch, you know about the C5R project. Jake, hashtag C5R, hashtag Jake, Corvette Jake. You know, we over here at this channel, we do domestic small block Fords, and we do LS, and we do race shit. Now, I'm not a racer myself, but I like race stuff. So the goal is to eventually get these things out to the track. This car has been to the track, when I say track, quarter-mile drag strip, plenty of times. Never with this new motor. Unfortunately, our local drag strip, Sacramento Raceway, shut down at the end of 2023, and that was a sad day. But with this motor, the 408-inch Windsor, we were able to get 11s consistently. We never really 60-footed too well, but still, we ran a, 1180s at 119. I think I cut a 1918 60 foot on a Mickey Thompson ET Street. It was a 275 50-15. This motor made on a chassis dyno through this TKO 600. It made 527 pounds of torque and 472 power to the wheel through a 9-inch and that TKO. This motor here, we engine dynoed, but we never put it on the chassis dyno. But on the engine dyno, it made 716 horsepower and 600 pounds of torque. We have since stepped up to a 2-inch header. We have went dry sump. We think that's probably another 20, 30, 50 horsepower. I don't know. Who cares? So anyways, that's it, guys. I have pretty much run out of time, but I just want to say hey to all my friends, followers, you know, community enthusiasts. I'm in it just like you guys. We are pretty much the same. So yeah, that's it. So if you want to see any cool content on this channel, I got plenty of Ford stuff, more Ford stuff than Falcon stuff, and you know, some Corvette stuff. So if you like LSs and Corvettes, I got a little bit of something there too, a couple reviews and stuff like that. But yeah, that is it, guys. This thing is all done. It's all drained, and now it's just time to pull that Holley XP950 out, pull the bowls, and stow this thing until I guess next year. Well, that's weird. Every time I look at that, when I went like this, I tighten it down. Every time I tighten it down, it squirts out. It's weird. It's probably pressure. I know it's better to have that stuff in there than E85, I'll tell you that. For reals. I'm okay with that. So, all right, let's pull the carburetor off. If you guys want to hang around, hey, we can pull this carburetor off. I think it's three are those look like 13s? Yeah, 3 13 millimeter or 4 13 millimeter. I try and do this with one hand. And most importantly, I want to do it and make sure I don't drop a damn bolt in the damn motor. So I'm going to really focus here, because sometimes you just lollygagging around, you find yourself in a bad situation. So let me see if I can just drop or pull this carburetor off and not, of course, it's a long stud. See if I can pull this thing off without dropping any nuts. I got on one hand, I'm talking to you guys. And you guys, I know, I get it too, man. I get bored and I'll watch some content creators myself. There's some good ones out there. So it's a 13 mil. And yeah, we'll pull this guy off with you guys live and try not to drop a nut down the motor, down the manifold. I think I'm up for it. So I got a 3/8. Oops, so much stuff in here. I'm always tripping all the time. All right. So, all right, so that's loose. Let's go to the next one. You're loose. And you are loose. The other thing is I also gotta pull the linkage. And this part kind of sucks because it's always a bitch remembering which way the linkage was. Thankfully, I took pictures and videos last time I pulled it, but it still was a pain in the ass. Now this right here, I'm gonna use 2 hands. I don't have anything to mount you guys to. Otherwise, I would have you guys mounted. But I want to say that's a 10 mil. I think I have a 10 mil gear wrench, 10 or 11. If I can get that off with one hand, man. Today's my lucky day. All right. We got a good amount of people on here. All right. Nope, of course. That's going to be an 8. Why would I get the right size? Well, hold on. Okay, we can loosen it. I just need to loosen it and put it back together, kind of the way it was. Come on. I think soon I want to do a giveaway. You know, I want to do something to kind of get some interest going and see what kind of additional things beyond what I've provided that the channel is interested in, or the followers. A lot of it is just people randomly watching on YouTube. Like I get it. I'm not this big YouTuber or nothing. I just kind of share with you guys what I got going on, which is really, either waiting around or trying to get something fixed or trying to get something better. Doing research. I like doing a lot of research to kind of help my projects and see. Okay, I have to use an Allen wrench. Kind of help my projects because a lot of the folks that I deal with are very busy. And so in order to help them help me doing the research really goes a long way. So let's get an Allen's. There you are. It helps. It goes a long way if I can do research and help, my engine builder or, a chassis guy or whoever I'm at. If I'm somewhere in the stage of, getting chassis work done, and, a lot of times these guys they're just booked. And so the best thing I can do is help me help them, or help them help me by doing a little research. And some of that stuff I share on the channel with you guys. Recently, I've been floating around the idea of, or trying to really nail down what cylinder head we're going to go with for the C5R build. All right, this is getting dangerous. What cylinder head we're going to go with, because that's going to really dictate the power capability. We're looking at an LS7 style head. Those are the big boy heads in the LS engine family, and they make the most power. A 12-degree raised runner head is no joke. So I see somebody, Nissan fan, JDM, what's up? I like that Corvette. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Next to the Lexus. Yep, next to the Lexus. Yeah, this is an infrared, a 2016 RC 350. It's an F Sport. It's Got a little six shooter on it, dual clutch. The thing's pretty sweet. This C5 Z06/C5R. Yeah. Anyways, where are you from, Nissan fan? Where are you from? Shoot me out where you're from. But anyways, yeah. So that's really what I am starting to get into, is just kind of doing the research, sharing it with you guys, and we all kind of learn as far as, hey, what you know, what works. Well, especially in the Falcon platform, this thing here is, as you guys know, I'm not going to be able to do that with one hand. I'm trying to see if I can sit you guys somewhere. If I can sit you guys right here, sit you guys right there. Can you guys see the action? Oops. All right, so I think this works. That should work. Can you guys see me? Yes, you can. Yes, thumbs up. No, you can't. You're seeing the, okay. So I'm disconnecting the linkage is all that is. That's a better shot of it. Yeah, it's good enough. But yeah, one of the things that I'm looking at is the research on the C5R block. What type of LS7 head am I going to run? There's a handful of them out there. Brodix has the BR7 in a couple different, you know, size options. Who else is there? There's also All Pro. All Pro makes a really, just a wicked head. Give me all the power I could ever, you know, need. And also Dart. I don't want to count out Dart. Dart's got a LS Next, or no, what is it called? A Pro 1, but it's an LS7 casting. Dart calls everything Pro 1 with their cylinder heads, but they're also in the running. All right, so there's that linkage there. Now let's not drop any of this stuff. Okay, we got it. Dart makes the Pro 1 head. The Pro 1 is a beast. But honestly, I think they're all in the same price point range. All those heads are, you know, really close to each other as far as price, and because of that, they are, you know, everyone has their own preferences. You know, I'm not particular in anything, but I do like what All Pro has as far as the hipping process. The All Pro LS7 is not only an LS7, but it's a wedge head. So if any of you guys who know about what a wedge head is, that's a really big deal, especially when you have a raised runner. So I think, you know, and also All Pro hips all their heads before they even put a program through it. And hipping is a process, it's a treating process where it's called hot isostatic pressurizing, where they basically get aluminum or whatever type of alloy, and they compress it under really hot temperatures. They apply 20,000 psi, and it gets all the pores out of it. It gets all the holes. It really gets rid of porosity, and so that's something that All Pro does before they even cut a design. You're getting that with All Pro, so I think that's pretty cool. Let's see. Sorry if you can hear me breathing, but it is what it is. So I will get rid of these lines. I hate when this thing just hyper focuses. It just keeps doing the same old shit. There it is. We had it. There we are. All right. So I'm just going to bust open these lines. And, all right. Just get them broken loose. All right, they're broken loose. Now I'm going to get a blue shop towel. Yeah, a lot of people like the late model stuff too. is what I notice. I'm starting to think that some of the older stuff, like the older classics, are kind of going bye-bye. A lot, you know. I don't know. For me, I always liked muscle cars, so it was never a thing. But a lot of people these days, especially a lot of the youngsters, there are youngsters that like, you know, the late model or the classics as well. But I don't know. I just, you know, hear a lot of people liking, you know, newer cars, late model stuff. Which, don't get me wrong, I could see why the stuff is next level. So, all right, that's 2. So if you guys can see this here, it's probably a better spot with the light. Just going slow, not to drop anything. That's 3. And that's 4. All right, got all 4 of those. Carburetor, nuts. There's also a washer on each one, but let me get the fuel lines off first, so I can just pull this thing straight up and out. All right, nothing. I'm sure it's gonna piss fuel once I lean it back, but hope you guys can see me, what I'm doing. Nothing special. Oops, he wanted to piss a lot. Nothing special, just draining the fuel system, setting this thing up for storing it for a little bit. So I had to get the E85 out of it. That's all that is. Nothing special at all. Let's see. That one had a little bit more fuel in it. But yeah, so back to my point. A lot of the younger crowd, you know, more power to them. They like the newer stuff, and not mad at them for it, honestly. But I don't know. This classic stuff just stuck with me, and I got bit by the bug, if you want to call it that, a while back, and it's just been one of those things that have stuck with me for a long time now. Let's see if I can. Okay, that's gonna come up. I just don't want to make that washer fly. Using one hand. All right, we got both washers off, or 2 washers off on that side. Now let's get the ones on this side. There's that one, and there's this one back here. But yeah, I just got bit by the classic muscle car bug back in my day when I was a youngster, and it just stuck with me ever since. And so fast forward, you know, this Falcon had it for what, shit, since 2001. We're in 2024, so you do the math, 23 years. This past July was 23 years. And I can say it's been a good experience owning this thing. I've met a lot of interesting, cool people. All right, so we got the linkage off. We got the fuel lines disconnected. And I think we got all 4 studs off. We got the hoses off. Just want to make sure. Okay, hose there. I'll wrap that up in a little bit. Both the hoses off, and pull this bad boy straight up. All right, look at that, a little bit of smoke there. All right, let's pull this out here. Let's take it outside, and I'm gonna knock off these little drains to drain the bowls. And I think we're gonna be good. I want to say those are 8 millimeters. Put this cap back on. It takes so much longer doing it when I'm live with the community, just because I'm using one hand, and you're not really thinking the same when you have people versus by yourself. So there she is. That's the HVH Super Sucker, and the you see that? You see a little steam in there. Yep. HVH Super Sucker. Dang, you can see all the way down to the trick flow The Trick Flow twisted wedge R ports. Man, those are some serious hogs. This was ported a race port by CSM. You can see all the way down. I don't know if you can see where it meets the head, the intake runner, but it's all there. Actually, I'll just leave. Huh? Anyways, that was it for me. Just getting this stuff off, getting the bowls drained. I want to say it's an 8 mil from the carb, and we're done. So got the carburetor out here. We got 107 folks joining. If I'm screwing up or missing something up, do not hesitate to I am not tripping if I get something wrong. Please let me know. With this guy here, we're gonna drain that. You can hear some of that draining in the grass too. All right. All right. It's a decent amount of fuel in there. Let's get that on it'll evaporate this way. Evaporate quicker. And let's get the front end, the other side off. All right. Got this side off. This side's draining. Oof. Got some fuel on my knee. These have little O-rings. The main thing is just to get this to drain out pretty good, complete. Yep. So anyways, guys, I need to focus, and I'm going to wrap it up here. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you guys for watching. Let me finish up this job here before I start losing stuff. Peace. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Share with your buddies. Make sure to hit that thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. Talk to you later.